So you know how I always say, or often say, that sometimes I do talks that I think are going to be good for you guys, like, what you need to know this. And then there are other times when I do talks for me, and you just get to listen in because it's something maybe that I'm working through. Well, today's talk is called, Shall I Compare Thee? And this one is for me. So you can listen in, okay? Yeah. Because even with everything that I know and everything that I teach, there are still times when I find myself comparing myself to others and coming up lacking. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah. She has such a great relationship and I'm all alone. Oh my God, why can't I sing like Amy and hit those notes? He has a larger center than I do. What's he got that I don't? Look how thin she is. Their house is nicer than mine. That type of thing, yeah? Nobody else? Yeah. And yet what I know in the very depth of my being is that those thoughts, those feelings, that habit does not serve me. It is not healthy mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. Thoughts like that are joy robbers. So today, we're going to delve deeper into this habit that we have of comparison. And we're going to discover some tools that are going to help us to heal it. Yes? Are you with me? Okay, good. Now, there are some people, I think, that maybe believe that comparing themselves with somebody else is actually good for us because it helps keep us committed to our goals and keeping on the right track. For instance, maybe you see somebody who's super fit and that inspires you to keep on with your exercise program or your eating plan, or maybe you see somebody who's making more money in it and you resolve to work harder. And I get that. But for myself, using comparison is not a motivator for me. Because I use comparison usually as a means of beating myself up for not being good enough, not being strong enough, not being committed enough. So I find it's better for me to discover my motivation within myself to stay the course and to accomplish what I want to. And one of the ways that I do this, and this is one of the tools that we're going to be talking about today, one of the ways that I motivate myself to stay the course is to remember the truth about myself. And the truth about myself is, just as Amy sang, I am a unique, I am one of a kind, I cannot be duplicated expression of the divine. And that I am here to live this life that I am living as I am. Now, that doesn't mean I don't continue to grow and learn and love and expand and express and shine my light. That's not what I'm talking about. It means that there is no need for me to compare myself and the life that I am creating with somebody else's life. This is my life. I am what I am. In fact, Dr. Seuss, you are you. Now, isn't that pleasant? I love it. Because the you that is you is God in expression. We said it last week also. You are God at a local address. And each of us is perfect, whole, and complete as you are. So this is how Dr. Holmes put it. He said, everything in the universe is a unique individualization or expression of the one thing, which is the cause of all things. You should become aware that the one creative power is expressing in you in a unique way, and that it is always pressing against you, seeking a fuller outlet of its infinite possibilities. You do not have to imitate or compete. You are a special creation of God. Right? Take a breath. So that's one of the tools that I'm talking about that we can put into our non-comparison toolkit, and that is to remember who we are and to capitalize on our uniqueness rather than trying to be something that we are not. For instance, I always wanted to be a tall, willowy blonde. Practically every girl I went to high school with in Southern California was a tall, willowy blonde. It was kind of the standard, right? And I just simply don't fit that standard. I am short, dark, and plump. And to this day, no matter how many exercises I do, how many diets I go on, how many prayers I pray, how many yoga poses I get to, short, dark, and plump is never gonna be tall, willowy blonde. Thank you. So I can either spend my life pining over what I'm not, or I can celebrate what I am, which is strong, voluptuous, and funny. In other words, I can find my own unique way in this world because, as with all of us, the world needs our unique selves. There is a tapestry of life that is going on, and the tapestry is incomplete if we are not sharing who we are truly meant to be and what we are meant to be doing in this life. Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is taken." Because when we compare ourselves to someone else and we come up lacking, which is what usually happens, the truth is we don't really know what's going on in the life of the other person. They may be fighting demons and challenges that we know nothing about. All we're seeing is the outside picture. So another example, actually continuing my example. As I said, when I was in high school, Carlsbad, California, right on the coast, there were lots of tall, willowy blondes. They were the bane of my existence. One such girl, her name was Sue. She had everything going for her. She was tall, she was blonde, she was pretty, she was popular, she was smart. And I could have resented her mightily for being everything that I dreamed of being. But the problem was she was also really nice. And she was my friend. So, of course, we graduate from high school. And she goes on to marry the jock of the high school, right? Fairy tale wedding. They had a beautiful family, living the dream. In the meantime, I struggled with alcohol and drugs and weight and self-esteem issues. And it hardly seemed fair when I compared my life to hers. I lost track of her over the years until Facebook. Yay, Facebook. Some of us from that high school from the same year, 1974, do the math. Who was born after 1974? Raise your hand. Yeah, I knew this whole crew was. Yeah. Love ya, love ya, love ya. Anyway, so We have this Facebook group, right? We keep in touch with one another since Facebook. And when I saw pictures of this gal, Sue, she had not aged one iota. She was still tall and blonde, and she had a beautiful family, and she had wonderful children and adorable grandchildren, and her husband, oh my God, was a silver fox. And she had an agonizing, inoperable brain tumor that took her life 2 years ago. Regina Brett said, "Don't compare yourself to others. You have no idea what their journey is all about." So yes, I am short and dark and plump and single and no children and no silver fox husband. And yet I am still alive. I am still expressing. I have something unique still to contribute to the tapestry of the universe. And if you are here, you do as well. So another tool in our toolkit is to realize that we have no idea what another person is going through in their lives. So for us to be compassionate with everyone in our lives, even the tall, willowy blondes. So now the third tool that I wanted to talk about today is gratitude. Now I know we talk about gratitude a lot in this. We know the importance. We have our gratitude journals and our lists, and we meditate on gratitude, everything. Because here's the truth, folks. You know this as well as I do. Sitting here in this beautiful country, of freedom and prosperity, and the fact that we have enough food to eat and we have money in our pockets and we can turn on a tap and get fresh water. I was at Costco the other day. Costco is an exercise in abundance. You know, you don't just buy one roll of toilet paper. Jiminy Christmas. We can buy anything we want, anytime we want. Then you add to the fact that we're part of a spiritual community that teaches us that we're divine beings, that we are formed of infinite intelligence, that we are part of this creative source of the universe. We have a teaching that not only tells us that we're supposed to live happy, healthy, prosperous, loving lives, but that it's expected of us. That's a lot to be grateful for. Yes? Yes. And yet, not everybody believes that, right? Not everybody gets that. Some people go through life expecting it to be miserable and unfair, which is why they spend so much time comparing themselves with other people. It affirms what it is that they believe. And because our teaching is, it is done unto you as you believe, they're thinking that life is miserable and unfair and out of balance, and therefore it comes back to her, misery and imbalance and unfairness. So what would happen if, this is a stretch, I'm going to tell you, this is a stretch for me. Instead of comparing ourselves with others and finding our own lives lacking, what if we were actually happy for other people and celebrated their successes? What would life be like? This whole thing stemmed, I love Facebook. I think I just shared that. I love Facebook. It is such a motivator for me. It is such I get so much inspiration from it. And I found this thing. Call me crazy, but I love to see other people happy and succeeding. concept. Instead of feeling envious or less than in comparison, what if we actually experience joy and pleasure in other people's good experiences? What a concept. Because again, folks, this is pure metaphysics I'm talking here. When we feel joy, when we feel pleasure, when we feel happiness or gratitude for someone else's success, it sets up a vibration of joy and success and happiness that goes out into the world and vibrates where? Right back to us. For instance, when one of my single lady friends finds herself a boyfriend, I fight that old comparison thing. Ugh. What does she have that I don't? She probably cooks. Why not me? It's because I'm fill in the blanks. So I work very diligently to switch that around to celebrating her and celebrating and being super happy that they found each other. Because I know if I stay in comparison or sadness or not enoughness, I'm keeping my vibration low. But when I work to raise my vibration so that I can feel genuine happiness, not fake me out happiness, genuine happiness, it sets something in motion that comes back to me. Robert Ingersoll said, we rise by lifting others. In other words, as we encourage and as we cheer and as we celebrate others, we are creating a vortex in which all of that comes back to us where it belongs. So what I want to do is practice this a little bit. And I want to take you through a visualization where we're going to get some vibration and energy going. You guys willing to play with me on that? So Esteban, are you willing to come? Yeah. So you know the drill. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks. I don't know, I just feel inspired to do this. So close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And just feel yourself softening. Set aside everything that's gone before you today. And begin to put your focus on your breathing. You don't need to do anything special with your breathing, just notice it. As you feel yourself going deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed, more and more open. And now bring to mind yourself as you truly are. Perfect, whole, complete. Not your physical self or your financial or your material or relational self. Your complete and pure self. That part of you that is divine essence. That part of you that has never been hurt. Never been sad. Never been ill. Never felt less than. See yourself as pure, shining light emanating from your heart. From this place, there's no need to compare yourself with anyone else. You are who you are meant to be. Pure God essence. And now from this place of power and love, bring to mind someone who you perhaps compare yourself with. Maybe a friend, a sibling, a coworker, a spouse, a child, a neighbor, someone at the gym. From this safe place of empowerment, observe this person's success and happiness. See them with a big smile on their face, enjoying all of the good that has come their way. And as you observe this, allow a sense of joy and happiness to begin to build inside of you. Allow their joy to be your joy. Feel and see yourself absolutely thrilled for their good. And now imagine that feeling of joy and happiness emanating from you, vibrating out into the world. Let that feeling of joy and gratitude and delight fill this room. Allow it to blow the roof off of this building and move out like a ripple or a vibration of love. Feel it pulsating out, touching other people's lives. And know that what is being released is coming back to you, multiplied. It is a law, and it is undeniable. So experience that vibration come flooding back, bringing with it more joy, more happiness, more gratitude than ever before. We rise by lifting others, and we are lifted even higher in return. So I invite you to sit and bask for just a few more moments in this reciprocal feeling of joy. And know that you can have this feeling of joy anytime by deleting the need to compare and allowing yourself to love. And so very slowly begin to bring yourself back. Start to become aware of the energy in the room, which has shifted. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Did you feel the energy move? You should have felt it from up here. When we began to expand it, it was palpable. Everybody back? Thank you. Thank you, Esteban. And so it is.